Presented from the iShin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
Hey, I'm Kyle Alexander, and welcome to another PC&D Executive Spotlight. Joining me today is Ron Wittich with Cincinnati Fan. Ron, thanks for joining me today. Nice seeing you.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for having us.
We've had a lot of fun kind of chatting in the office today before this. The big thing we're talking about today, though, car wash dryers. And Cincinnati Fan's been around for 70 years. A lot of experience in there.
Correct.
I want to ask you just right off the top, why is it so important to get a car dry every time after a car wash?
Well, Cincinnati Fan, again, as you mentioned, has been around for 70 years. We think we've established ourselves as one of the premier industrial fan manufacturers in the marketplace. I myself particularly have been in industrial ventilation for 36 years now. So I've kind of made a career and living off of fans and dryers.
Sure.
One of the most important things is, people spend a lot of money on their cars. So after they get a car wash and, they want to leave the car wash with a pristine looking vehicle. So no water spots, no streaks, so they spend money on their vehicle to make sure it looks good. So, if there are streaks on their car and it doesn't look good, there's a couple things. Again, the appearance of the car, but then also water streaks leave, chemicals and mineral deposits on the car, which actually could begin to deteriorate the finish.
Absolutely.
Very quickly. So they want to make sure that it's pristine looking when they leave the car wash.
And like we were talking about, you've got plenty of experience with Cincinnati Fan and making these car wash dryers. You've seen a ton of evolution throughout car wash dryer technology. What's new with technology and fans? What's on the horizon?
So an industrial fan has been around for more than 200 years. There's not a whole lot of new technology in the fan per se, but what is new is the motor efficiency. Car wash owners spend predominantly money on three things, and it's energy, water, and chemicals. So one of their potential cost savings in a car wash is, the amount of energy that they're using. So higher energy efficient motors are a new technology. There are different styles of motors now. So not only with the use of, variable frequency drives, there is something called an ECM motor. Sure. Which is an electrically commutated motor. Mm-hmm. And it's a motor that has a built-in VFD with it now. So the car wash owners are able to control the speed and the efficiency of that motor.
So we're talking about these new motors, going into today's fans. How are these helping save electricity? Are they helping save electricity at all?
So yes, good question. Motors have different efficiency ratings depending on the horsepower. They can range anywhere from 77 to 96% efficiency. The use of an ECM or a VFD on a motor can actually save you up to about 25% on your energy costs. So car wash manufacturers or car wash owners, have three major costs, and it's usually water, chemicals, and electricity. So sure. Having the right motor, having the right VFD, and having the right controls allows you to save,
quite a bit
energy,
of money.
Quite a bit of money of an annual spend.
Very cool. I think another thing maybe these motors help with, correct me if I'm wrong, may even help the fans last longer. Maybe talk a little bit about how that works. Does it help fans last longer? Do the motors help fans last longer? What else helps a fan last longer nowadays?
So a fan has to be maintained. It's a mechanical device that needs to be maintained. The motors have parts that wear out. Fans have parts that wear out. Having the right fan and maintaining that fan, there's a lot of things I think that go into that. Having the right motor on there can help, prolong the longevity of the impeller, which is actually what moves the air in a fan.
Sure.
Having the right materials of construction, on your fan, whether it be stainless steel or properly coated, carbon steel, can help that fan last longer. Again, maintaining them is a key. And installation does have a lot to do with it. A fan is like a car tire, you know, has to be properly balanced and on a solid structure.
For sure.
Because if you have vibration, you know, bad things can happen. You could have premature failure on an impeller, you know, because of vibration or bearing failure. So you want to make sure, you know, all those three things are you know, vital to the longevity of your fan.
I want to kind of touch on something you were mentioning a little bit earlier here. Variable frequency drives. When it comes to car wash dryers, what is their purpose?
A couple of things. So, you know, if your fan is just out there running continuously 100%, again, you're wasting money. One of the things that a variable frequency drives allows you to slow that fan down, which actually allows you to save money because you're not using as much power to keep that fan running. Now, one of the benefits of that also is again, we get back to the longevity of a fan or the life of a fan. When a fan is started up from start to full speed, all that energy and all that torque and all that power go into the center of the wheel hub. And excessive starting and stopping of that fan can cause premature failure of that wheel hub because you'll get cracks. So a lot of excesses starts and stops. So as a car is coming through the car wash, the fan starts up, car exits the car wash, the fan stops. So what that allows you to do is actually maintain a very slow speed. That way, to ramp it back up to full speed to get the air that you need to dry the car,
Sure.
You don't put as much energy into that fan during the startup.
Gotcha. And kind of going off of that, nowadays, what is the typical lifespan of a fan for a car wash?
I've seen some data out there where, you know, some fans lasting 3, 4, and 5 years. What Cincinnati prides themselves on is we make an industrial product. We've seen fans last 15, 20 years. And in some cases, I've had customers call me asking for spare parts on a fan that's been out there for 30 years.
Dang, yeah.
It's even a model that we don't make anymore. And I've never seen the construction like that. So telling them to buy spare parts is probably not the best thing because we don't even make the fan anymore. But we've seen fans last as much as 30 years.
That's a long time. I mean, think about that. The 90s, I mean, if a fan can last that long, these things are, I mean, built super, super strong nowadays. Correct. With, again, all these advancements in motors and whatnot. Let's talk about support of car wash fans. How important is support of car wash fans in the bay, in the tunnel, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, that's another good question. You know, again, I think this piggybacks off the longevity of the fan. Again, you know, when we build and test fans, we make sure that they are supported with a structure that is, you know, 4 to 10 times the weight of the original fan.
Jeez,
So when you mount a fan in a tunnel, you want to make sure that that structure provides adequate support so that you don't have residual vibration.
Sure.
Every fan that comes out of our shop has been tested in 2 fashions. We balance the impeller like you balance the wheel of your car,
right,
to make sure that it runs smooth. And then when we add that to the fan housing in the base, again, we test that again to make sure there's no residual vibration. So when that fan is installed in the tunnel, you know, you want to make sure that your structure supports that rotating element adequately.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure it's not going to go anywhere. It's got to have that strong support. So in repairing fans and, you know, trying to help these operators that have had fans running for 30 years and getting new parts, how important is it to have support for these operators, and how important is support to you at Cincinnati Fan to kind of help these operators when they need to fix a dryer or a fan?
We have an extensive database of fans that we've sold all the way since the existence of, you know, Cincinnati Fan. So we have a great customer service team that, you know, knows a lot of technical background about the fans. They're very experienced in, you know, parts and that kind of stuff. So, you know, we know our product very well.
Awesome. This has been great stuff, Ron. Last question I like to ask everybody. Anything else you want to add on the topic of fans and car wash dryers?
No, I think you've had a lot of insightful questions, and I don't think I have anything to add at this time.
Well, awesome stuff, Ron. Thank you so much for coming in today, and thanks
Kyle,
for being with us.
Thanks for inviting Cincinnati Fan, and we appreciate you having us here.
And thanks for watching this PC&D Executive Spotlight. We'll see you next time.